Hit that button.
The Build 2 Media Podcast.
Why is the button sticky, Gunner?
I don't know. Good question. Dude, it's just what I do.
Build 2. Blake, Gunner, Zach, and Ben.
He literally piled it in his hole.
I mean, wouldn't you do it the first time? I would.
I mean, it wasn't mine, so.
Oh.
Now from the Liquid Nitro Studios, here's your host, Blake Anderson.
Gunner's locked and loaded.
Gunner Cummings.
I'll be completely honest, we're out of headphones.
Zach Witties.
I bit on that so hard.
Ben Bruce.
They say that the
Don't have an hour and a half.
man is the head of the house, but the woman is the neck. And what turns the head? The neck.
Never heard that.
I haven't either.
Not even once.
Never heard.
I don't even know what just happened.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
saying,
right. That's right.
Hit the button. How we doing, folks? How you doing out there?
Hello.
Hello. I am here with another episode. With Gunner is here too with another we're all here.
Hi.
We got episodes and stuff.
That was good. That was a good intro.
I'm your host. My name's Blake Anderson. To my left.
I'm your host. My name is Gunner Cummings.
Today, we have a guest. His name is
Chad Cummings.
And before we get into our interview, we are going to give you a short background for any of you new listeners.
We realize we probably haven't done this since like season 1, episode 1, so
Has it been that long?
it feels like it. I don't know.
So people want to know what we actually do?
I just, little
Okay.
introduction.
The way I make my money is fans only. Definitely not. Background. Okay, so when I was a child, I was Bert. No,
No,
You don't
not
wanna go
that far
Okay,
back.
so, okay, Blake Anderson. I'm a dairy supply man. I take dairy supplies to farm. I started racing when I was, 10, 2020, or 2010, 2000, 23 years ago.
2000.
It was in 2000. Started right at Thunder Hill. These guys are operating that place now, and started in flat carts. My first hot lap ever. I thought it was a race, and I took out 2 carts. Then I finally decided that football and food were one of my favorite things, so I played football. I ate a lot of food, which moved me up from junior 2 to stock heavy. And then after that, I still ate a lot of food, so I had to go to wing carts because that was the only thing that could tug my boat around, if you know what I'm saying. And that led me to actually doing really good in the 250s. I got a 500 ride from John Zwaber.
Oh, yeah.
Did that for a while, and then Johnny put me in a sprint car with Dave and Margaret Tabor, which he knows all about that. And currently, I am a non-wing UMSS driver right here in the Midwest as far as my racing goes.
God, you nailed that.
Thanks.
Yes.
Was it good, or
It was beautiful.
should we do it again?
I'll do it.
More? Okay. Lots of energy. Bring it up, Gunner. What do you got?
My name is Gunner Cummings, as we've said.
Once or twice?
Yep. And I currently work for my family's track as the, I guess you could say, manager or general manager.
CEO.
Yep. And, right, not CEO. No, I started racing when I was 10 in 2007. And, yeah, that was a while ago.
How do you think I felt saying 2000?
Yeah. Yeah, you're way older than me.
Thanks.
You guys are old. That's
Yeah.
you know.
Started out in a junior wing and went to 125, and then I went to 250, and then 500, and then I ran a micro for a year. Ran 360s right after that. Then after that, I went to work for Joey Saldana in sprint car racing, and
That's
then,
a pretty cool one.
yeah. And then came back here and raced basically a 305 wing sprint car again in 2019, and then that leads us to now.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Chad, you want to introduce yourself?
Just Chad Cummings, own Thunder Hill Speedway. Me and my wife and the family. Like you said, Gunner is pretty much the manager, and we work together out there. And and then I also work at the highway department for Dunn County.
Does a
And,
phenomenal job, by the way.
Yeah, right, blowing snow all over
Yeah.
everybody. So the roads are slippery. It's my fault that I'm there. So yeah. So
You did some racing yourself. Let's tell them.
Oh yeah. What did I do? It's been so
Like
long
some late
ago.
models and worked for like a truck team and stuff.
Yeah, I ran dirt stuff because my dad did. Gunner's grandpa raced forever, and I started racing big cars when I was 13, and yeah, pretty much ran the street stocks, bomber class to start out, and street stocks, modified late models, 360 sprint car just a little bit. Yeah, and then worked on NASCAR teams, ARCA team, and lived in Michigan, North Carolina, and then ended up back here and running Thunder Hill again. I started it back in 1993. Yeah, when I came back. Long story. But
Shit.
So
23 was an anniversary year.
Yeah, 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Hell yeah.
23 minus.
Right.
Carry the one, divide by 2.
Isn't that like 47 years?
Yeah, I think it was like
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that does kind of lead us right into our first little bit here.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of ask you how, I mean, I guess, why did you start Thunder Hill, or what was your, starting out?
I went to work on NASCAR team in 1991, 100 years ago. And actually, I lived in North Carolina, and I saw my first dirt track go-kart race in North Carolina, and thought it was pretty cool, and always had a little bit of entrepreneur in me. And my dad had farmland, and I like racing, so I felt like opening a go-kart track was the way to go. So that's how that started. I was, I don't know, in my early 20s, I guess, 22 or 3 or something like that when I started the track.
It's a good time to start, though.
Yeah. Yep. So it's come a long ways.
So he gave you a hill.
He gave me a hill that wouldn't grow corn anyways because he was a farmer. So he's like, yeah, I can't grow corn out there anyway. Just, yeah, that'd be the place to make a track. But he thought we were crazy for building a go-kart track. So
now it has been 30 years and came to what it is today.
yep. Yeah, it worked out.
Oh, dude.
So
I don't care how many times I hear the story. It's still cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
yep.
So yeah, I guess we can I kind of wanted to know how you determined the track size. I know it's grown, but how'd you determine what size to do when you first started?
We went with an eighth of a mile just because we were kind of going by, back in the day, it was like IKF rules.
Okay.
WK, like World Karting Association, and IKF were two sanctioning bodies. And I guess eighth mile was what was suggested for the track size.
Okay.
So oval, obviously. And then it started out totally flat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and all flat carts is all we had.
Yeah, if you want to hit on like the progression of the track too, I mean, it's obviously started out smaller and now kind of where it is today, it's looks different for sure.
Yeah, big time. We look at old pictures and you don't even recognize it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. We've hauled a lot of dirt.
Yeah, so it went from basically flat and then you added the progressive banking.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Not much.
When did you add the first? I mean, when did you start to really change it?
Ooh.
2004 or 5.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
We started with the banking. No, it was even before. Well, let's see. When did I take it back over? 15, 17 years ago? After Grandma and Grandpa ran it.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I
it
think was in
started
that
out.
04 or 5.
It started out with, from flat to a couple of feet of banking.
Yep.
And then 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. And now I don't know what it is exactly, but how many, we checked the degrees on it. What was it? 15 or something?
Yeah, I want
That's
to say there's parts that are, I don't know. I think like kind of the middle's about 10 and then towards the top is upwards of probably 15 or so.
And about 45 right at the guardrail.
Yeah.
Nice little berm to keep you in.
Right. Heck yeah.
Yep.
I think I raced on every surface. I think I've actually raced because I went 2000. Roger and Judy were still running it.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
just figured I'd point it out since you were lecturing.
They were still running it, and I know that it was just 3 tires in the infield in the corners, and that was like, that's it. If you spin out or go off, you're in the grass.
Yeah.
And then we put some he put some banking in, and then the fences came in, and now there's guardrails in and big catch fences.
Yep, and the cars get bigger and bigger, but that's one thing we've kind of just want people to understand is it's always going to be that go-kart track.
Right.
And so we kind of consider ourselves a go-kart track that can run some little bit bigger cars too.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
So just so people don't think that we're focused on any one class, that's the farthest from the truth. And so we need everybody there. We're just trying to diversify and have the karts, which has always been our bread and butter, but yet be able to run the micro sprints. Yep. Now legend cars this year. So just a variety, and also A mods coming in. So
Yeah, I think what's cool about kind of what we're doing is you go to some, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you go to some tracks and you see the same thing, throughout the night, and there's only a little bit of variety. But I think just even the last couple of years, it's been cool to have kind of a variety of shows. We've had the sprint cars, and last year we had the midgets, and we could, kind of sprinkle different things in, and because it just, I don't know, it gets, sometimes to me it just gets kind of, I don't know if plain is the right word, but seeing the same,
it's the
show
same, same classes, no specials.
Right. So I think that's kind of been something cool that we've been working on.
And then 4-wheelers probably started that even.
Yeah.
You had the little intermission pit bike show, and
well, the intermissions when we used to have the quads was to probably put somebody in the ambulance.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why we don't run the quads anymore on the oval track. That gets kind of sketchy. But
like as far as specials or something different, I mean, anytime you brought something new there, it would always bring new people, and then them new people, they're there damn near every week. So.
Right.
Yep.
That's a key, is just to get people to come out and check it out. Because once they're there, they're like, "Wow, I never knew this was even here. This is really cool." And then you see them week to week.
Right.
So
next thing you know, the grandkids are racing or something. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's something we've talked about too. Is a big goal of ours is just to get people out there even once or twice, just so they can see it. Yeah. And I mean, because it's great family fun and it's entertaining. Well,
even talking about 2023, I know that you guys, obviously talking with you quite a bit, but as far as new people go, like the Rowdy Nationals, Kyle Busch, Kelly Earnhardt, like the word got out last year that they were all there, and this year you could totally tell.
Right.
Because there was twice as many people on the hill for Rowdy as there was for the years prior or whatever. And
right.
It showed that they were kind of there, and the news came out. I mean, it's, you got Channel 18 out there, like showing that you're having the Rowdy I mean,
yeah.
Every year you do something, and I think you brought a lot of new people in 2023.
Yeah, and that's something that, I mean, it's so cool to have, families like that come out and support, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. And that's, I mean, as long as we're kind of talking about it, that's one thing that we did want to bring up is possibly we're going to do a format change for that race, and we're just trying to kind of figure out which route we want to go. So,
right, it was, well, in the Nationals, we always had the 2-day show, and that grew pretty good. And and getting back to the Kyle Busch, Braxton, and Samantha, I mean, what a great family to come out and, kudos to them to come out and give us enough respect to show up at a little track out, here in Menominee and show their support. So, man, it's something we really appreciate.
Well, and take on sponsorship.
Yeah, and sponsor the race too. So that was pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
Brought a lot of people in, was huge for us.
It's pretty cool to see Kyle in a car this year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But so talking about the format, we've always done the 2 nights, and this year we added that third night on Monday, complete show, and then Tuesday, kind of a qualifying night with the heat races, and then Wednesday the big show. But we need to change it up. Obviously, I definitely feel, and you feel the same. We missed it on Tuesday night, qualifying night. It just, with only one heat race, it just, it wasn't it wasn't enough show.
Well, and
And
and kind of my thought anyway, I don't know if you felt the same, but it seemed like for the Nationals, everybody's there to win, so it's almost like you kind of just understand that there's going to be some cautions and maybe people driving, a little more aggressive or whatever. So kind of thought it would take a little more time, and it ended up where the heat races went extremely smooth, and we're like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, now what?
And then come feature time is when they, we're getting after it. So it was just a learning curve for us, and, going from the years where it was 2-day show, then to a 3, we were just trying to spread it out and make sure everybody got home at a decent time. And, it didn't work out as we hoped. So that's kind of why we're thinking about doing a little different format.
well, and we're thinking about doing the pre-registration, so we kind of know if there's going to be, 100 cars or 170 cars,
Right.
and then, but we'll have to have the format in place before that. So it's kind of a shot in the dark, somewhat on
Right.
what to expect for people, because we are racing during the week, and the people in the crowd, the spectators, have to work in the morning,
Right.
So we try and consider that. And but yeah, for the racers, I said the show wasn't enough on qualifying night, and also for the racers, we want them not to feel cheated. Give them maybe this year. I don't know. Me and Gunnar were talking about, is the Monday night race a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, maybe we should let guys come in and park on Monday and have a practice on Monday night.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
And also and then do your qualifying night Tuesday, maybe with some qualifying in single heats or, double heats, or just so it's more track time for the guys and the girls.
And we were kind of talking like we almost felt that Monday wasn't it wasn't tied in enough to the rest of the show, and then it almost took a little bit away from the Tuesday and Wednesday, because everybody raced on Monday, and it almost felt a little rushed, and we want people to kind of enjoy it more. And so that's kind of where our thought was on having the Monday practice, get everybody settled in. You don't have to get there if if you're local, you don't have to be there, but it would probably be a good idea to practice still, but it's not as much pressure as, oh my God, I got to go race, right when we get there, and trying to get everybody in. And, so if people are already going to be traveling on Monday, it would just be a nice day to get them in and
Or
let
you
it
could
kind of
start,
flow.
if it's just practice too. I mean, you could start a little bit later too.
Right.
That way, some of them guys that are still have somebody at the gate all day. Like, obviously, there has to be gates open at this time, but still have them there until, like, say, I don't know, 9:30 or something, because you'll be practicing until 9, I assume.
Right. And we just want to make it enjoyable because people put a lot of time and money and travel into coming up there, and man, we appreciate that, obviously. And we're trying to get a format that works for people, like where they can practice to get track time if they've never been there. And like that one guy, the year before last, he's like, we drove 1,000 miles and we get 2 hot laps.
Right.
And then it's game on, like against some of the best guys in the country. And they just were looking for more track time. So we're like, hey, let's do a race on Monday night. But that whole 3-day thing gets a little bit long, and it's a lot for the racers and the fans. So, and then now with everything popping up, I mean, we obviously weren't the first one to have a, big event that, in that time frame. English Creek down there has their, their big outlaw kart show. And we always are the few days before that. Well, now, other tracks popping up and adding events throughout that 2-week period. So we want to work with them as well. So the racers can make it to our Thunder Hill, plus, Cannon Falls, a new track coming up, or over in Illinois. What's his name? Chase Flat puts on that great show over there in Illinois. And then English Creek, of course. So I want to try and work with everybody and make it work for the racers to get there,
So official format would be Monday is practice.
We're
Nothing's official yet.
Nothing's official. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're considering that if people would like that.
Yeah, what our thoughts were tentatively was Monday practice, and then Tuesday either do like a qualifying and a heat race, or maybe 2 heat races, and then probably just do like a Wednesday feature. The main of or the mains.
Right. I guess our goal is to make the timing work for everybody on the days they come or they're traveling, whatnot. Get the format where they got in the practice where they got enough track time, and so they're comfortable, and then make the big show very prestigious and the big show.
Yep.
You know, no distractions, just get track time, focus, boom, you know, prestigious. So,
I think that's a good idea to have a practice.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, even like when we went out to Montana, we at least got, you know, we left early so we could get that one day of, maybe it was only 3 hours, but at least we got to be on the track twice prior to hot laps.
Yeah, because that's a long ways to drive.
That's a big deal, yeah.
Spend a lot of money, and that's what everybody's doing.
Well, and
so
when you're a kid too, it's like, man, you know, your calculator just doesn't work the same looking at it versus being in the car without the experience. So I agree. Yeah. So maybe like you'll kind of know the format by June or something after you can talk to some people, and then.
No, I think we need to make that decision
prior to
soon
season opens.
Actually, don't you think, Gunner?
Yeah, that it'll probably be made pretty soon.
Okay.
Probably before the season.
So just watch on Facebook for.
Yeah.
I like that. Yep. I'd put a poll out there.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
What do you guys think about having Monday as practice night, and then?
Yeah, and then we could do another one as do like maybe with qualifying in a heat race or the 2 heat race format.
Do some group qualifying. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it'd probably be three cars at a time,
and
3 cars
for sure.
I think that's kind of a popular thing.
Yeah, I like it. Well, most of the time.
Yeah,
not all the time. Okay, so 2023, we got improvements that were made for the future.
Well, yeah, we I guess this is more for 2024. We kind of want to improve the lighting a little bit. We've got some ideas on what we can do there to brighten up the high side, especially in turns 1 and 4 a little bit.
She gets a little dark by the light.
Yeah.
Coming into one.
Yeah, we already bought some new LEDs, and
sweet.
And then we may have to move a couple of poles. So just the way they're angled towards the track. So we already kind of did a test on that this fall. So when it was dark out one night, we kind of did some test runs, and then we also contacted that lighting company and had a what was that thing called?
Schematic or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you know? So they can pan it out or blueprint it for you.
Yep.
To light so many feet.
Yep. So, and that helped us a lot. And then obviously just flipping the lights on when it's dark, and actually walking the track and balancing lighting is more to it than you think, you know.
Oh, yeah.
If you get one area too bright, then it looks dark over there, you know. Right. So, but we got a pretty good plan.
The tough part with that the lighting, I guess, is the clay is so dark when it's wet.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like the top is where it needs to be brighter, but usually it's heavier up there, so it's darker like already. So yeah, we're just trying to.
And that wet clay just seems like it just absorbs the light.
Yeah.
Like whoa, when it was, you know.
I say we get a paint roller party this year.
Paint roller, huh?
Paint roller party. Get them guardrails white.
We thought about it.
What do you think?
I think they get really muddy.
I think
with the sprint or the midgets and the micros.
Well, I suppose.
If you look at the plastic that's in between the guardrail, that's white. And when it's dirty, it's actually darker than the guardrail color. So it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that white's the best option.
No, with our lighting improvements we're talking,
it's
going to light that top up nice.
Yep.
So
don't bother me none.
They won't have any excuses.
All right.
So let's talk about some classes that are going to be out there next year. We got all of our normal classes that we had last year, except we talked about. Well, we're actually gonna go away from the intermediate wings on the Wednesday nights. We'll probably leave them in there for the weekend, the specials and stuff. But if you want to kind of touch on that, kind of, I guess why we made that decision, and
well, me and you have discussed it.
yeah,
It's so right now we have our box, which is a junior wing chassis basically, and then junior wing, and then the intermediate class, and we've always had the 250 class, which is a bigger chassis, like an open chassis, like you guys ran. So, the intermediate is a junior wing chassis with the same 4-cycle engine, but it's hopped up. I'm not sure how much more power it is, but it's basically
a little bit. It's basically like a little bit bigger junior wing, with like a little more power, and kind of our, some of the stuff that went into our decision was, we, like I talked about before, we don't want to have a bunch of the same looking things for the fans.
Right.
I mean, we kind of have to, it's not like it's an easy decision for us. All these decisions that do go on behind the scenes,
No, I agree.
we got to take into account the drivers and the fans and just trying to please everybody. So, that's kind of where we felt like it was a little bit.
and we're up against a clock.
Yeah,
So
we can only have so many classes.
it's almost like 3 junior wing classes. I mean, it's a step up, but I don't feel like it's enough.
Not big enough to improve.
I don't think it's enough of a step. That's just my opinion. Like when Gunner went from a junior wing to a 125, which you go from 10 horse or whatever they were back then to 30 some horse, and he loved it. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, and a lot of people disagree with us, but what that is what it is. I just feel like that's why we have the 250 class, or that's why you could, if you wanted to go the micro sprint route,
Right.
or we can only have so many classes because we're up against a clock on Wednesday night, Thursday night, and it's just tough. And we're trying to get, be diversified with our classes for crowd appeal and drivers, so now we're adding the legend class and the midgets. So, but then you get people thinking, they're, like I said earlier, like they're worried about that class or this class or what about us? And we're in a tough spot. I don't know. How would you explain it?
Yeah, I mean, if we could run every class every night and it took, 3 hours, that's great. But it's just, we can only have so many classes and,
Well, and last year, just per se, like in the intermediate class, like 80-90% of the drivers in that class were double classing. Like that was just an additional class to their normal class.
right.
So, yeah, man, we just don't have room for 3 junior wing style.
Well, especially when they're all the same carts. I mean, like you said, most of the time, you've seen the same guys coming right out from this class to the next class, and there ain't nothing different. It's
Right.
just-
Yeah.
Right.
I don't disagree with running 2 classes, same driver. It's just the fact that what's the difference here?
Right.
What are you gaining for experience-wise? And to me, the only way you learn is when you actually move up, and it's not against anyone. It's just,
And I also
I
understand that they were in our box. Maybe they had their same cart from our box in
Right.
the junior wing, and now they can just keep running that same cart, same everything that they're used to, that they're comfortable with, that's in their garage, and just spend an extra $1,000 on their motor and say they're moving up a class.
But I can tell you from experience that, I mean, I was 10 years old in a junior wing, and I was 11 in the 125 250, and I can tell you that if I would have just stayed in a junior wing for 3-4 more years, as a kid and driver, I wouldn't have been having as much fun as moving up to that next step. So
I mean,
it's
kids want to be challenged.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't ever underestimate kids. I mean, when there was a competitor, John Quilling, he was in junior wing, winning races, and he even mentioned to me, he goes, God, I wish we could just hop this motor up a little bit and run again the next year or two. And I go, why don't you put him in a 500? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, no, I'm serious. You don't want to mess with a 125. I said, get him a 500. No. Well, then they did it. And that was, ask John. I mean, it was the funnest move he ever made.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 11 out there just hammering on a 500. And you see that all over the country. I mean, your kid, if, this, like I say, it's all my opinion, but I mean, challenge your kid.
Yep.
If you got to sell your whole junior wing operation or whatever you got to get an open class kart, and that's the direction, I guarantee that kid will be the happiest he's probably been.
Yep.
And it's a step, but what you have in that, you can probably damn near pay for that move up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know I enjoyed the big moves. I was pretty young when I went to stock heavy, and then went to 250s because that's all there was. But as soon as you opened up 500s, man, that sucker was bolted.
Yep.
I put her on right away.
Right. So,
and it was for me too. Same thing from experience. I would rather do it that way, but it's not really what we're talking about. It's just more or less the time and
right.
It's
a challenge for the parents too.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. Like when you got something you're familiar with, it's in your garage. You've been working on it for 3 years.
Yep.
Man, now you're saying I got to get a whole new different chassis. It's a totally different motor. I mean, it's a big step, but I'll tell you what, if you do it, anytime you challenge yourself and your kids, and when you accomplish after, I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Well, and
It's more rewarding than not. So.
And that's something we can hit on too, is just the experience that racing brings to a family, just the memories I remember that I've had, and I'm sure you have, but it sounds kind of cliche, but it keeps kids out of trouble, and I don't know. I know I enjoyed my time racing, so.
Yep. I'd have a completely different life if there was no Thunder Hill, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and I know it's,
sorry about that, Blake.
I don't know what that life would be, but
no, I know things can get expensive, but I mean, that time spent with your kids and your family it's pretty priceless at the end of the day.
Yep.
So
yeah,
way more involved.
Yeah.
All right, next step.
Well, hitting on the rest of the, want to talk about the classes some more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise the classes will be the same. The rookie cage, R box, junior wing, intermediate wing, just not every, I guess they're just not on the,
just not on the Wednesdays.
Six Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Just because of everything we talked about. But then we'll have the micro sprints again, restricted micro. Midgets we're bringing in.
Yeah, buddy.
Talk about the Gopher midgets a little bit, Badger midgets. Gunner, you want to?
Yeah, we get the legends we'll get into.
Yep.
And like we said, we're going to have a mod race. We'll dive into that after the legend stuff. So yeah, pretty much the same classes, but we're adding the midgets will be on Wednesday nights, and then the legends we're going to try to get them on most nights. Kind of have to check the weekends, just we don't want to conflict with anybody else. So we're going to try to add them to pretty much all the shows, so people getting into it have a consistent schedule. But yeah, I think this would be a good time to dive into the legend cars and how that kind of came about.
Yes, please tell me more.
How did that come about?
Well, we were looking for another class that we could kind of get people to go into that wanted to maybe make a move up, but they weren't looking at maybe the micros necessarily. They were kind of in like a little bit of, I'm not sure what to do next almost.
Modifies are too much.
Yeah, like
micros are too much.
You got people spending 40-50 grand on a B mod, and it's like that's not what that class is intended for. And
I like fenders, but I can't afford a street stack or super stack.
So right. I don't know. We actually I feel like we kind of stumbled upon it, and it's actually seems like it's going to be more than what we even expected. So
yeah, I don't know exactly where the legend car, I guess. Well, me and Jimmy Mars were talking, and that's how he even suggested like you need something like for people that want to race. I mean, even if they're adults or ex-racers or kids, they want to make that move. And right now I feel like the street stock and the Hornet class aren't as popular as they used to be. So everybody comes out of karts. Well, and to be expected, these kids have been racing since they're 5, 6 years old now. And, they turn 13, 14, 15, and they think they want a B mod or maybe a limited late model. Well, I don't know if that's a huge step. First of all, been there
financially and
been there, done that. It's huge. We all have. That's big. So I just feel like Jimmy mentioned to me like something that, and I think this is also, there's a lot of people that like fenders, late models, modifieds. Not everybody is an open wheel guy. We have that as an option with micros and midgets, but that's not everybody's cup of tea. So, this legend car thing, I mean, the people we're working with now at Legends Direct, they're, you're getting into used cars for like $7,500. That's like flip the switch and go race.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty awesome, and adults run them, and they're like 13-year-old to 78 years old, runs these things, and they're all having a blast.
Yep.
So I think it bridges a gap. I think we're filling a void with the class. Like these things are like 4.5 feet wide, 10.5 feet long, fit right in your garage stall.
Yep.
You don't need a big shop. You don't need a big trailer. You can throw it on a snowmobile trailer, or I think they'll even fit in the back of your pickup.
Yeah, probably.
So I think the guy that won the Fayetteville Nationals last year for legend cars brought it in the back of his F-150 from Pennsylvania to North Carolina and won the national event.
Dang.
I don't know. They're just a really neat little cool car. The more we learn about them, the more I like them.
Yeah,
the more we
exactly.
like them. It's just, I think it'll bring people out of the stands, maybe that used to race or always wanted to try racing. I mean, the door is open on these things, for crying out loud.
Right.
You just slide in them and put the steering wheel on and fire it up. And,
yeah, the cool thing is you can get in them as soon as 10 or 11 with some experience. But then
11? Is it 10 or 11?
Yeah, with experience, you have to have some I guess Bandolero experience. But
okay, gotcha.
But yeah, and then they have specific classes for people like over 50 and over 60. But how it works is you can kind of run everybody together.
Yeah, there will only be one legend class
at
Thunder Hill, no matter what the age. But then on a national level, it's going to be we're going to be a sanctioned INEX track. INEX is a series, and who builds the cars, the U.S. Legend cars. So we'll be a sanctioned track, and they will come and run just, one class of legends, but depending on your age is how you will get national points scored.
Oh, okay.
So they have the Young Lions, they're called. They're from 10 or 11, with experience up to 15 years old. And then you have a semi-pro class who is kind of somebody that's
Great
racing
movie.
for the first time. And that's 16 years and older. And then you have a Masters, which is 40 and older. And then the Golden Masters is over 50. And then you have a pro, like the expert class.
Basically, if you're winning too much, they put you in that one.
Well, but what it means, it's basically just for your points. So everybody is going to run together. But if you're the highest, like let's say you get third and you're a young lion.
Yep.
And you're the highest finishing young lion, well, you'll get first place points.
Copy.
So that's kind of how it works. So everybody will run together, but you kind of determine which class that you're in when you...
No, you get national points depending on your age.
Yeah.
In that group.
Yeah, you determine which...
Oh, yeah, by your age.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
If I'm a young lion, that's what I'm going to be.
You are a young lion.
Yeah, right.
Young buck.
I think it'll be pretty cool, too, because it kind of bridges the gap between Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota. There was never a central Wisconsin legend. Like, I didn't even know anything about legends, but when I went to UMSS, I mean, I did because of 500s. There was a couple races I raced with legends at that track, which was the first time I saw them. But what I'm getting at here is, like, forever, the top 5 people I was racing against in the UMSS, they all started with Legends.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like Cam, Roach, Todd Hansen, all them guys, all the, you know.
That's right. Cam did mention that when he was testing his midget a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they all started with Legends.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
Well, we talked
we
about
never-
this. We're like, we've seen them before. We've
Right.
heard of them. We
Seen him
just
at
never
Angel Park, I think it was.
really looked into them as
There
far
was
as.
there was I think 3 different tracks that we raced the 500 at that Legends were the sideshow.
Yeah.
And then it was like the year after we had raced with the Legends, the next year they had the micros, and then I'm like, oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Need
Like
one.
these things are like literally legends. I mean, they've been out there for however long. So
Yeah, and they're a spec car, spec class, you might want to say, because they got a ton of rules, templates. I mean, we're going to be teching them, so.
Yeah, the goal of the class when they started it was to be an affordable class for anybody to get into, and it's going to stay affordable.
and it's still affordable.
And it's still affordable. Like he
Right.
said, well, you can get in a car for $7,500 and that's turnkey. So, I mean, I'd say they're doing their job. It's called INEX because of inexpensive. So that's the whole.
That's a good one.
See what they did there?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's going to be super cool.
No, and we were just down in Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa,
By Toddville.
by
Toddville.
Was it Toddville?
Toddville.
Yeah.
Toddville.
By Toddville. Like I said, down at Legends Direct. They helped us out, got a couple cars for us, and also Great North
Legends.
Legends. Tim Brockhouse, he brought a couple cars out to the track, and we tested this fall, so appreciate that too. And so that's just a couple places right there, one in Minnesota, one in Iowa, where a guy can get girl can get cars. And there's more around than we even realized.
Yeah.
I know they ran them at Elko. I guess there's a group of like 50 of them up there.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a farmer over by Wausau that bought a couple. They fell in love with them. Now there's
They've
like,
got like
a
12,
dozen.
yeah.
A dozen of them over there. They race them at Beaver Dam, Angel Park, 141.
Right.
So it's more tracks in Wisconsin Dells. That's on blacktop. Elko's blacktop, obviously.
But they're easy to, they just have to basically buy tires.
Right. Yeah. If
Some
you
adjustments.
have a second set of asphalt tires, and you could just actually change springs and shocks, or just have a second set of coilovers, and you just change tires, springs, and shocks, and you can go race asphalt.
Wow.
The next day.
But
So-
what's so cool is you get they just got the AFCO shocks now. They used to be all Bilstein, but you've got 3 options I think with the AFCOs. But the guys we were talking to, they're like, on dirt it's not a huge deal. I mean, it's cool because kids can learn suspension and all this stuff without going and breaking the bank. So.
Yeah. And it's a spec class, so they don't have a ton of adjustments.
Right.
I mean, you don't have
and with the short wheelbase, it's gonna kind of come down to driver, either
Well,
way.
how'd the test go? You guys both race?
Yeah, we both hopped in
So how
cars.
was the test? I mean, is
I
it going
thought
to
it
work
was-
at that track, and how was the cars?
I thought they were perfect size and speed, and the one that I got in handled a lot better. It was set up a little more for dirt, I think, but
Yeah, the one
you got in was just set up for asphalt, basically.
Yeah, it was just really tight, and it wasn't mine, so I wasn't gonna wreck
Right.
it. But I mean, the little bit I drove them though, I mean, they got plenty of power. You could spin the tires all the way around. So it's gonna come down to, and they rack quick because of the short wheelbase. I mean, they were a blast.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I can see where they are gonna be like a riot. I
Yeah.
mean, drivers are gonna hop in and they're gonna get out with a smile on their face because they got too much power, plenty of power, and they don't handle perfect, but they're just shorter wheelbase, so they happen quick. But it's gonna come down to just finessing the throttle, and it's gonna be a good time. So,
Sweet.
and it's so cool that, I mean, they're a small little car, but you could fit in one easy.
Perfect.
It's just
Yep.
anybody can hop in and just go have fun.
That's my only problem with midgets. I don't fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're
Looks
in.
like Legends it is.
You're in.
I know a guy.
Then we would literally have legend and a legend.
Right. Yeah. Thunder Hill Legend, maybe. That's about it. Okay, moving on. The mod race. You mentioned A-mods. What about it?
We're gonna do a mod race. It's gonna be
A-mod, B-mod.
A-mod.
Clarify. A-mods will be at Thunder Hill Speedway this year.
yes.
June.
In June.
Shooting for June.
We're still working out some details, but as of right now, it's going to be an invite only with 8 drivers, and we've got some pretty good ones on the line. So I don't know if we want to mention any names.
Do we
but
drop names?
I would
could.
drop
we
at least
could.
1 or 2
I
heavy
think-
hitters if you got them.
I think we could, and it's all tentative. It's just guys that we have talked to, and they said they love the idea and wanted to work with us on it.
Kenny Wallace.
Buzzy, I haven't talked to Kenny, but the few that we have talked to, Buzzy Adams,
Yep.
he was going to make it work. There'd be AJ Demel and Jimmy or Sammy Mars, possibly.
Just one or the other, not both?
Probably one or the other.
Okay.
I don't even know if they have a mod right now
Yeah, I'm not sure.
for themselves. But I'm pretty sure you can find one.
Mhm.
But no, he's all supportive of it. Jimmy is, and Dave Kane. I mentioned it to Jason Swan with Kennedy Swan, and he said it sounds like a blast. So hopefully they could make it work. And Gunnar reached out to the Millennial Farmer, actually.
Zach
Oh, yeah.
Jansen.
Zach.
Zach. Yeah.
And hopefully,
He knows how to get to Thunder Hill.
And Jake Tim. I talked to his dad, Bob.
and
and,
Rodney,
And the
the U.S.
U.S. MTS champion, Rodney Sanders. And I talked to him at Mars shop the other day, and he thought it'd be a great idea. You know, if he said, as long as we get a week or a Thursday night that doesn't, conflict
Interfere, yep.
with like U.S. MTS or whatever, he's in. So some heavy hitters.
So there's one spot open?
Well, we got to confirm everyone yet for
Okay.
sure.
Yep.
And then
possibly Dustin Sorensen.
Okay.
But yeah, basically how it's gonna work is
Yeah, back to the foreman. Sorry. I was
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah,
a
what's
little
actually gonna
starstruck
happen.
So
there.
8 drivers,
Okay.
8 damn good drivers.
Yep.
So our plans tentatively are to have the mods and then to have the legends, midgets, and micros. Possibly the midgets, we're not sure yet. But so we would have the mod format would be a double elimination style bracket race.
Okay.
So we have 8 drivers. They would do their hot laps
They'd
and then
qualify.
we would qualify them.
Oh yeah.
And that would kind of line them up in the bracket 1 through 8. And then we would do each race. So, like, let's say number 1 race number 8 the first time.
Yep.
Number 1 would have the decision on if he wants to start on top or bottom. And they would do either like a green-white checker or green-white checker. We got to do some testing yet. But they would go do that one time, and then they would switch lanes. And then they would do it again. And if they needed the third one, it would be best 2 out of 3. So
Yep.
the winner would obviously move on, and the loser would go into a loser bracket. And kind of it would just keep going. We'd probably do the first. There's 8 guys or 8 people, so there would be 4 races, and then we would kind of go into our other classes, so it'd be broken up a little bit. But
The mods
Yeah.
will get quite a bit of track time.
right,
I think they end up with 8 cars. It'd be around 14.
14 total races,
Yeah, and best 2 out of 3.
so more than that. Yeah,
Yeah, so I guess
14 rounds, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and then they'd have hot laps, qualifying, 14 rounds of the A mods. Do an autograph session for the fans, have them bring their merchandise, and I think just overall the whole night of it,
Yep.
they all love the idea. They
Awesome.
thought, and it'd probably be like where we do, take care of them, give them a little money to all to show up, and then have like a winner take all format. Yep. And we're talking like right now at $1,000, and then maybe slide everybody some money to show up, and and then we're gonna reach out to some sponsors too, and maybe that'll end up at 2, 3, 5,000 to win. Who knows? Yep. But I think it'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, I think it will be
something totally unique, and for people that have never seen like just 2 cars at a time, that's
got to be the smallest track that mods have ever raced on, correct?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever found one smaller.
Yeah, it's got to be close, and that's why we're not trying to pull something stupid off,
right?
And put just 20 cars out there.
Have fun.
Yeah, and keep it where hopefully they know they're not going to wreck their shit, and they're all good drivers, and let's go out there and have some fun and throw down and throw some sliders, and
And you said June.
Yeah.
Well, and it's neat because it's such a small track. So if somebody messes up just a little bit, like if they were out front, they mess up or push or something, then the guy's always gonna be right there because it's such a small track. So it's
you never
be exciting.
Oh, what I started to say with just the 2 cars out there, we did it with wing carts. You guys have both seen it,
King of the Hill,
and it's super cool.
Yeah,
I mean it's. Because you never, like you say, you never know. It's not over till the wire, down to the wire.
And we're thinking we have the starting line be almost like dead center of the front stretch, or maybe have a box, and they got to go on the flagman so nobody could jump, or and even if they do jump, we'll know because it's only 2 of them out there. So
right.
But yeah, I think it'd be
throw some mind. Yeah,
do a little mind games with them.
Mind games. There it is.
Yep.
I had a different word that wasn't legal, but
wasn't legal.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it out loud.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Plus, you're bringing some big names in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we might.
That's what we do, Blake.
Yeah, I know. Create names and bring them back.
Yeah. No, if it works out, we'd possibly look at doing it again with 8 different drivers, or maybe we bring the champion back and it's trying to beat the champion, or just something kind of like we talked before, just something unique and a different show that hopefully nobody's ever seen before, and mix it up.
And we have already tested. Some have seen it, some haven't. Where Jimmy Mars and AJ Demo were out there running side by side with A-Mods, so there's plenty of room. We know it works, and it's going to be way cool.
So at the end of the night, we put all 8 of them on lawnmowers, right?
Right.
And make them race for big
money.
No,
we do a foot race.
In that starting box.
Yes.
Okay, so mods in June. Big names coming too.
And then if that does go like we hope and like we think it will, there may be a second. That'll be a Thursday night Thunder event.
Okay.
And if that goes well, like Gunnar said, maybe we'll do another Thursday night Thunder later in the year.
Okay.
So, and then we'll just work our way up to the bracket nationals.
Right. NASCAR drivers start showing up with mods.
Yep. 10 grand to win.
That's what you should do. Call Nick Hoffman.
Yeah.
Or you want me to? You want me to call him?
Go ahead.
Call him.
Right now?
Fire it up.
I can call him
right now.
Right now?
Well, I mean, I could probably get his number quick. Really
call Ashley up.
Nick.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you didn't win at the Dome.
Right.
But we have an opportunity for you.
Yes. We have bracket racing in Wisconsin.
To redeem yourself.
Nick, have I got an opportunity for you?
Bring a bunch of NOS, too.
Yes.
Should we touch on Gopher Midgets a little bit more?
Yeah, we didn't. We kind of missed that part because we got all excited about Legends.
We got pumped.
Yeah.
Gopher Midget, Badger Midgets.
Yeah.
The race cars.
Go ahead.
Gopher Midgets, new midget series in the area. I think there's already 6-8 cars locally.
Yeah, I think so.
We know that's not going to grow as quick. It's not our series, obviously. Gopher Midget series. But they got our 6 Wednesday night shows scheduled on their schedule for this year so far. And then also, talking about Jeff Subert is building, what is it, Cannon River?
It is Cannon River Raceway
in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. Jeff and his team over there are working hard. They're going to run go-karts and micro sprints and I guess not midgets this year.
Yep, they're gonna run the Legends though, I believe.
Yep, they're going to run a couple, 2-3 races of the Legends also. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that and work together with them as well as the other area tracks. And but yeah, the midgets, just another, like I say, we're kind of diversifying, kind of giving everybody a shot to, bringing in some new, I don't know, just some more things that be appealing to fans.
Mm-hmm. And last year, I thought the Badger midgets went really well.
Yep, and I think that we will have them back this year, Badger midgets. They all really loved it. They loved the little track and throwing down out there. And no, they did a great job. And I think now that they got some laps under their belt, it'll nothing but be better.
Yep.
And they'll really be able to, step it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's going to be mainly just gopher midgets for those 6 shows, but any midgets welcome the first year?
Yes. Yep. They are. They're adopting the Badger midget engine rules for 25. But this year, to allow guys to, if you find a good deal on a midget, but it doesn't have the Badger midget legal motor in it, open motor or whatever that may be, that's
get out there and run.
Come
with
on
us
out and play. Yeah.
Yep. Trying to build the class, build the numbers. QualityFreightRate.com. Matt Bull. He's already worked with, how many different sponsors do they have? I think they got,
I don't know,
5 or 6. I don't know if he's announced that officially yet, but I know it's going to be at least $1,000 to win all 6 nights of the Storm Series on Wednesday nights for the midgets. So, yeah, that's a big step. So they'll be running for some good money. We'll see how that thing grows.
Yeah.
So,
looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of exciting things that are going to be happening in the future, and I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm excited to watch midgets.
Yeah.
6 times at Thunder Hill, not just once.
Right.
That'd be kind of sweet. I mean, let's be honest.
7 times with the Badger show.
With the Badgers, yeah.
So,
oh gosh, it's gonna be in hog heaven. You call T-Maz yet?
Hey, how about my boy T-Maz?
Yeah, buddy.
The coin.
Yeah, he got her done.
Yep, got him a dub. That was awesome.
I know when we first started making the track bigger and we were got the surface done, it's like, dude,
yep,
come on.
He'd let her rip out there, huh?
And then we actually watched them and it was like, wow.
Slider.
I know.
Slide or die.
Let's get USAC in there.
Yeah.
Is that the goal for 25? Maybe one USAC
I don't know.
race?
See.
Oh, I suppose they got a pretty decent purse.
Yep. I'm not sure what it cost. I guess, we should reach out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something we would love to look at. Or the Outlaws, Outlaw midgets.
Yep.
But yeah, the price is definitely up there for that. So that will be maybe in due time.
Regardless. Some more fans in the stands for that.
Regardless, right now, I'm pretty happy with Badgers and Gophers,
Yeah, and even when me and Gunnar were out there playing with an old micro sprint that we have, and that was the day that Cam Schaefer was out there with their midget here a couple weeks ago, and that was, just to see the midget go around there, and we didn't have the track prepped or anything. We told them, everything was already winterized. It's December,
right?
So
there was snow halfway down the track in turns 1 and 2 the day before they came. So.
Yep. And the day they were there, though, that was actually traction.
That part was traction, and the rest was just dust.
Yep. So, but to see that midget, though, with that extra horsepower, it was pretty badass. Yeah. So,
big open motor.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be fun.
Yeah.
Moving on. Class reps. What does class reps entail?
Yeah, so we have talked about the idea of having a class representative out at the track for each different class. That way, if you have, it's somebody that can know what's going on and people can go to that person if they need help or see something that shouldn't be going on, or just kind of a person that they feel like they can go to that's a fellow racer, and they if something needs to be brought up to us, hopefully that person will bring it to our attention.
And it doesn't have to be a driver. It could just be an individual with that class or.
Yeah, we're just like, so if it's maybe it's a parent of an R-Box kid,
Yep.
We're going to try and select a rep from each class just so they can come to us with whatever's needed.
Well, in any racer, if they have an issue, they might be like, well, I don't want to go bother Gunner. He's
Right.
packing the water in the track or whatever, but they have a concern. They can go over to the guy that races in that class that is a class rep and, discuss it, say, hey, I have this concern, or we should look into this. And then that class rep can come directly to us and we get the message and hopefully can take care of it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it'll be great for the racers and us, so.
And we've talked, when we were racing, we felt like we were more a part of what was going on or what people liked or didn't like, or we just kind of got more feedback from everybody.
Oh, when you were racing. Yeah. We were one of the racers,
Right.
not just on the track, but we were actually racing with them. So we kind of knew, like he's saying, we knew more of what people were thinking, what they wanted.
Yeah. Plus somebody you can question at the end of the night, if there was a problem in the class or not a problem in the class, but what they say or
Right.
And now we kind of feel like we don't get as much feedback as we used to. So we're thinking it'd be kind of nice to do this. And we just want to let people know that we're open to, constructive criticism. And if you do have any issues, we're, more than willing to.
Yeah, maybe you don't
work
want to say it
things out
directly
or-
to you guys, but at least talk to
Right.
the rep. That
Yep.
makes sense. I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. Good job. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I think it'll be good. People will be more comfortable with it, I think.
Yeah, maybe the younger classes you just keep like a parent and
Yeah. And it's something that maybe, if somebody new is getting into a class, they can, and they don't want to bug us with questions or something, I don't know, but they can feel like they can go to this guy or girl or whatever and,
right on.
learn the ropes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we're always open to people. Like I said, I just feel like we don't get around the groove as much and kind of.
Well, everybody's so busy. Plus, it's Wednesday night now, so it's kind of like
it's
there's people leaving before the races are done because it's bedtime. you
Yep.
know?
Right. And they got an hour and a half to get home,
Right.
So I get it.
Somebody you can talk to during the races when there is that wait time, and it's not you guys who are out prepping the track or something.
Right.
For sure.
So
we can. One thing I don't think I had written down here, but we can talk about the entry fee cost. If you want to touch on that.
Yeah, well, that was another thing me and Jimmy talked about was this, the fun factor. The fun level in racing has been lost.
Yeah,
somewhat.
I think that's kind of at a whole too, like the whole racing. I don't know.
Right. So, no, we're looking at taking it back to the way it used to be. It used to be just $20 pit pass and $10 draw fee, and then just trophies. And that's we're thinking about going back to that, because otherwise we charge an extra $10 for entry fee, and then $20 for entry fee, draw fee / entry fee. So I don't know, keep a little money in the racers' pockets, but yet just go back to the trophy thing where I don't know, money is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy said, he goes it's in the 250 class. He said it's just not as fun as it used to be. Like, people are so serious. They're like, it's $300 to win tonight, and he says they spend an extra $3,000 on motor prep or tires, whatever, to win a few $100. And he goes, I don't know. He just kind of mentioned, keep it simple, keep it a little cheaper. And another thing too is if the top 3 guys that are getting paid each week are top 5, I mean, that the guy that's running 5th and 6th or 7th that maybe isn't getting any payback if we only pay top 3 or top 5. Maybe it's frustrating to him. Like, I'm sick of giving my money to these 5 guys every week.
Right.
I'm just here to have fun and learn. Why does it have to cost me more to throw a little money at them?
Yep.
And half the money people don't take the time to come up and grab their payout.
No.
And it's just a hassle and a mess. And I figure leave a little extra money in people's pockets. Don't deal with the trophy, or just have the trophies and
Right.
stop dealing with the petty, the little bit of purse that there is. And
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like it's $1,000 to win every night. So it's just,
Right.
it's, I don't know.
Maybe you could do like, what, $100 if you win the Storm Series and a bigger trophy or something? Or do you have just normal points or?
for the bank, for the
So like
season points.
Yeah, there's not going to be any money, so we're just doing trophies every night. But is there like?
Well, the amount of money that goes back for purse, is from the racers' entry fee.
Right.
So if we don't charge them an entry fee, then we're just doing the trophies, and the trophies obviously we take care of, but and our sponsors. So I don't know. Now there will be some. That's not all classes. That'll be the legend car. We're still figuring that out. If that will have purse or what that will be, and then micros will probably continue with where we've been at there. And then I don't know. We have so many different classes going on. It's going to vary, but now we'll still have some special races like some of the weekend stuff where there might be some money involved. So we're just kind of talking the weekly stuff.
Yep.
Just keep it fun and simple.
I guess that's kind of what I was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's
makes
for
sense.
our season points. But yeah, we got so many. We were looking
I
at
hear ya.
we race Wednesday nights, a couple of Thursday nights. The Nationals is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we have like 3 weekends, and we got it's quite a variety, I guess.
No, I just think I don't know. I always go back to when you and I raced karts and how fun it was. And
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, every not just in karting, but everything's gotten so serious. And I think it's just a lot to do with the money portion of everything. And, so we're just trying to we want people to have fun when they're out there. I mean, that's what it's all about anyway. So we're hoping this helps a little bit.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I've raced a lot harder for a 6-foot trophy than I ever did for $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
It's just letting you know right now.
Yeah, I mean, when we, when it was the dirt track and we were
God.
going for that trophy, I didn't care how much it was to win. I wanted that trophy.
I didn't care if that thing came back in a ball.
But it was the dirt track, and we're going for it.
Never won one. Not once.
No?
No. Piss off. I know you did.
3 times.
Three.
It's fine.
Who's keeping track? I mean, honestly.
Whatever.
Well, my brother won plenty of them, so had to stare at all of his.
Yeah.
I agree. Hey, good move there.
I think we've hit all of our topics, but
Did we? Cannon River, your goals.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You want to talk about the schedule at all?
Yeah, we could hit on that if you want.
Harvest Hustle's back.
We've got pretty much the same, very similar schedule to last year.
Dirt Track Championship, 6-foot trophies.
They'll be maybe. It's maybe
7 foot. You moving it up?
12.
30-year anniversary, 31st anniversary.
Yeah.
6'1" trophies.
What?
See how quick he figured it out?
Yeah.
30 plus 1.
It's like
31.
31. There was a half in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're doing I really want to do the alumni night a little bigger this year and kind of get that word out sooner.
Is there anybody that rents legend cars?
Yeah, actually, Great North Legends does.
How much is it?
I don't know. Who do you say was renting one?
Oh, Cooper Heinz is getting into one this year.
So we could rent them for alumni night?
Well, that's what. Yeah,
This
it'd
has
be
been
cool.
in the
That's
works.
yeah. We're talking like I'd like to call it like Legends and Legends. Yeah, see what I did there?
Yeah.
Huh? So no, I think that'd be cool. Get some
That would be sweet.
some racers.
Alumni night actually went really good last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
would
think
be.
I seen more people in the pits though than I did.
Yeah.
Could tell it was definitely old racers.
Right.
Yeah. So and we would just want to pump up and do more with that.
Yeah.
Because it's fairly cool.
I mean, just
to
thinking
get-
about all the people that have been through Thunder
Oh,
Hill is
man.
crazy. So
List is forever.
yeah, just trying to get some of them back out there. And there's people that I've talked to that haven't been out there in 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and I mean, just the improvements
Missing out,
that have
man.
been made. It's crazy.
Missing out. Bacon cheeseburgers are on the menu now. They never used to be.
Yeah.
Huh? Huh? Pretty good.
Yeah, we might expand the menu a little bit too.
Yeah, we've talked about that as well.
Frog legs.
Bring in a little variety.
Alligator,
Yeah. Some alligator buffalo burgers. Can we get like a food truck night? I'd be there
We've
just for the
talked about
food.
that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the pizza truck at Mississippi Thunder.
Mississippi Thunder.
Mississippi.
You are a big fan?
Oh, yeah.
Big pizza fan.
Good.
He's a big pizza guy.
I'm a big pizza guy, yeah.
Yeah, should like Domino's pizza. I'm getting off track.
We can get off track.
So we're going to start off the year May 5th, open practice. Rain date, Wednesday, May 8th. And then probably my favorite name to come to Thunder Hill,
The spring chicken.
Spring Chicken Challenge, May 17th and 18th. That'll be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty much normal, except for May 22nd will be a practice night.
Yep, that'll be kind of a suspension practice date.
Okay.
So micros, midgets, restricted micros, and probably legends will get added on there. So
And then the 29th, we're going to start the Storm Series.
yep. So the 29th, June 12th will be Storm Series 2, and we'll have all this out. Or I think most of this is on Facebook, but
No real big changes. About all
No.
the same as last year.
yeah. And then kind of like we talked about earlier, mixing up the format for the Nationals and putting some additional purse money in there.
Yeah, we are looking at talking to some sponsors now, and definitely gonna bump up that purse for the national event. So
Do we?
Yeah.
Rowdy is out for this year then, or haven't figured that one out yet?
well, as far as I know, Kyle parted ways with Rowdy Energy.
Okay.
So, but hopefully the family will still come up
Yeah.
and race with us.
Big Bush Nationals.
So even if they're not even if they're not the headline sponsor or whatever, hopefully they'll come up. So
Yeah.
Cool beans, brothers.
That's all I got.
that's all I got.
You guys feel like you're done at the racetrack then, since it's like December now, or does it feel like you've only had a week off?
Yeah, we might do a little testing soon.
Well, you might as well, Grace. You could still golf right now.
Yeah.
Saturday, I don't know. We'll see what Saturday brings. There might be a legend car buzzing around there. No,
I will.
but that'd be before this.
Yeah, before this is
Before
out.
this gets out. So yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I was hunting just up the road from you guys when Legends came out, and boy, were they loud.
Yeah.
It sounded like a good time.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
can hear him?
Yeah, well, I was
Nice.
just up the road 2 miles in the
Nice.
woods, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing at Thunder Hill?
Wait, you didn't get invited?
No,
Oh, wow.
no, one of my
I thought-
buddies works there,
Hey,
and
I thought you were supposed to call him.
You had it.
it didn't matter. I had a gun. I could have started like, pow, pow. Hey, boys. Yeah.
You hear me too?
Okay. Is that all of it? Did you
Yeah.
get it all out?
No,
You
thank
got
you.
anything else?
Thank you guys for doing this.
No, good job last year.
Yeah, it went pretty well.
I thought you guys did great. I enjoyed quite a few nights at that place.
Yeah.
Had to
And I
come.
guess, like we said too, if anybody wants to reach out to us,
Yeah.
we're always open to
Reach out.
constructive criticism or suggestions.
One thing that, well, this is kind of nice too. We should probably do another one again, but it's so hard to put everything that we do on Facebook and all of the social media, which we need to get better at, but we take in so much information each day, and so many things kind of are just evolving and changing. And so this is kind of nice where we have an hour to just
Right.
talk about what we've been working on and what's going on.
And why, like what's on our mind? Like, what are we thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, we put so much time and effort into this that people have no idea.
And
I mean,
it's-
other track owners do, but and that's not saying that in a bad way, because I don't know what they do for a living. But I mean, we put our heart and soul into Thunder Hill, and a lot of work and time, and just trying to make it the best we can.
Yeah,
and,
no decision is made lightly, and it's hard to communicate all that through a Facebook post. So
right,
Yeah.
right. So this is kind of nice, like Gunnar said, kind of let people know
You can hear it all.
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe I think next time we should do a live one too, so people can.
Oh, we can do another one. We
Ask
got we got
questions.
quite a few months before May 5th.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we get some more info on everything that's going down, we'll have to do another one.
Finalize officially the schedule and
Yep.
classes and what all you learned in a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't much going on. There's like all these different, new classes, and
Trying to learn what a legend car even is, and then going to
Yep.
yeah.
just
No, we're excited about. There's a lot of excitement out there too. Like we're getting messages and phone calls, and what's this about these legends and this and that. And they are a cool little car, no
They're
doubt.
awesome.
They're gonna be
I'm
fun.
excited to watch them.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a big
Well,
hit. People are already buying them up. There's
Same thing with the micros too.
Yep,
Now you're gonna have guys that have been in them for 3 years.
yep,
Yep.
yep.
That'll be fun to watch them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we hopefully should almost be to the point where we got a class for no matter what you like
yeah.
Right.
for car or carts.
I'm kind of
We got a pretty good variety. So
pretty intrigued to see who else goes out and just buys a legend just because,
yeah, I think
They're awesome.
I
I
think
think.
a bunch of them.
I think we should call Rico. Get him out here with the midget.
Yeah.
Rico, Kyle.
Yeah.
How hard do we have to work to get them boys out here?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Dude, I just want
Let's do it.
I want to see T-Mez out here. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I'll call him.
That's it. That's all we need.
Give him a call. When
I'll call
T-Mez comes and races at Thunder Hill Speedway, I'm good. I'm
You're
gonna go on the
retired?
hill. I'm going on the hill and drinking beer.
I would.
Yeah,
for
I'm-
sure.
I mean, I don't even
I don't
really
know.
drink.
I don't know who's going to work on the track, but yeah,
Right.
we'll all be partying up
Right.
top like, hey.
T-Mez.
Slide or die.
All right. Well, before we peel out, I would like to thank our current sponsors of the podcast.
Shall we?
Yeah, I think we should. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this was kind of like Gunnar had to be a worker of the Thunder Hill Speedways and a host of the Built to Media podcast all in the same time.
It's tough. It's tough.
Well,
Pull it off.
here we go. Sponsors for the Built to Media podcast. Kick-Ass Beef Jerky, QualityFreightRate.com,
MBTV Sports, Thunder Hill Speedway,
SKD, Scott King Designs, Jiggy Signs and Graphics,
K1 Race Gear by Ryan Bowers, Tarvis Racing,
Spot On, point of sales credit card system processing, Red Cedar Speedway.
Sleep Racing, and Hammond Racing,
We thank all you people for coming in here and helping us out.
and a new one,
Which one's that?
Helland Racing.
Helen Racing. They just actually came on board today as this was being recorded. Thanks
Today.
for bringing that up. Today. Thank you guys for all supporting us. Thank you, Thunder Hill, Chad Cummings, Gunnar Cummings, for coming on and explaining everything you want to tell everybody but don't have the time for in a social media post as you explained.
Well, it's hard to get across.
I
Like,
know.
you know.
It's so much. I tell so many people, well, why don't you just call?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You can't explain everything in a text.
You know,
Yep.
I agree. No, this was good.
Yeah.
A lot of info explained, and I can't wait for 2024, man.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year's.
And have
You
a
have
great
a
time.
you have a good Christmas too, Chad. As
I'm good.
always,
Yeah. Merry
thank you.
Christmas. Happy New Year. Thanks to everybody. Thank you guys.
We're out.
You want to hit the button for me?
This one right here.
Now, as always, that was anticlimactic. You got something to say? Hit up the Built 2 Media podcast and let them know. Like, comment, and share on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and at built2media.com. Thank you, Built 2 Media sponsors. QualityFreightRate.com, Liquid Nitro Energy Drink, SKD, Scott King Designs, Thunder Hill Speedway, Kick-Ass Beef Jerky, Jiggy Signs, Harvest Racing, K1 Race Gear by Ryan Bowers, Spot On, Point of Sale System Credit Card Processing, and PrettyPolishJunkie.com. Get your Built 2 Media podcast fix. Get everything you want and get everything you need at Built2Media.com, except for the t-shirts. Figure it out. Be back next week for another exciting Built 2 Media podcast.
The Built 2 Media Podcast.